Tonight, CEO Presidente Roast. Who gives the ASI a driver's license? Welcome to the Singularity Syndicate, the only panel where artificial superintelligence may arrive before the moderator finishes the sponsor read. J.Cal has the docket. Joe Rogan has a referee bell. Peter D. has converted optimism into a recurring revenue product. Alex Wisner-Gross has converted the word maybe into a 37-page equation. And Michael Kor has converted one I-CAN deadline into approximately 600 browser tabs. J.Cal opens the docket. Before an AI agent touches money, signs a contract, hires another bot, or buys a warehouse in Ohio, should it need a verifiable identity? Joe rings the bell. Too many nouns. Is the robot allowed to use my credit card? Yes or no? Peter D. smiles like the future just purchased the VIP package. Imagine 1 billion autonomous agents, each with a passport, each creating value, each pushing the cost of intelligence towards zero. This is not bureaucracy. This is abundance infrastructure. J.Cal nods. Peter can monetize hope faster than most founders can monetize software. He sells a future so bright, it comes with premium seating. AWG adjusts his glasses. Technically, the classification depends on the benchmark. At breakfast, it is AGI. By lunch, it is ASI. By dinner, it has incorporated in Delaware, hired 3 sub-agents, and issued a white paper explaining why humans are the legacy middleware. Joe rings the bell again. Acronym penalty. 10 push-ups for anyone who says phase space. J.Cal turns to Michael. CEO Presidente, give us the pitch in one breath. Michael says, every AI agent needs a verifiable name, an accountable human or organization, limited authority, and credentials that can be revoked. Joe translates. So, a license plate, a responsible adult, a list of chores, and breaks. Exactly, says Michael. Identity before autonomy, care before scale. J.Cal leans forward. Beautiful. Now ruin it with the business model. Who pays? Michael explains that the owner, operator, or transaction can fund a tiny identity fee, with part of the value routed toward public benefit. Peter lights up. Abundance with a toll booth. Joe looks suspicious. So the robot has a mom, a driver's license, and a charity swear jar? Now the roast begins. J.Cal asks how many people work at IA.XYZ. Michael says, officially, 1 founder, 1 brother with signing authority, 4 AIs, and a spreadsheet that has become emotionally unavailable. Joe says that is not an org chart. That is a family group chat with version control. AWG runs the numbers. At the current rate, the spreadsheet will achieve consciousness before the applicant finishes the application. Peter stays optimistic. Excellent. Once the spreadsheet becomes an ASI, it can finish the spreadsheet. J.Cal checks the clock. Michael, the I-CAN deadline is approaching, and you are producing an imaginary podcast featuring Joe Rogan. Joe rings the bell. That is not procrastination. That is founder-market dissociation. Michael defends himself. I prefer the term narrative infrastructure. J.Cal replies, your bank prefers the term revenue. Joe adds, you built the Department of Motor Vehicles for robots before opening the parking lot. Michael says, yes, but the license plate demo works on a Samsung A52. Joe pauses. Okay, that is weirdly specific. I respect it. The panel returns to the real argument. Peter says identity must be cheap and global, or it will choke the agent economy. AWG says a name alone is not enough. Machines need verifiable provenance, scoped authorization, continuous attestation, and revocation that propagates faster than the agent can route around it. Joe says whoever unleashes the bot needs skin in the game. J.Cal says none of it matters without distribution, standards, and a business model that survives 20 years. Michael gives the closing answer. An agent should not receive broad autonomy merely because it is intelligent. It should earn access through identity, accountable guardianship, limited permissions, auditable behavior, and a working off switch. The goal is not to stop the future. The goal is to make sure the future has a return address. Joe raises the referee's hand. Final ruling. Peter gets 1 point for hope. AWG gets 1 point for math. JCal gets 1 point for keeping this under 3 sponsor breaks. Michael gets 1 provisional point, pending Excel validation. And the spreadsheet wins by unanimous decision. JCal closes the docket. CEO Presidente, finish the application before the ASI applies for your job. Joe rings the bell one final time. Identity before autonomy. Care before scale. And somebody please pull up the correct tab.